Today is April 5th, 2026, and we are tracking a rapidly escalating conflict in the Middle East, pulling global powers into direct military confrontation. Following a series of U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran, global markets absorbed immediate shockwaves. The conflict in the Strait of Hormuz has moved past standard geopolitical posturing into a real physical supply disruption, actively repricing energy, shipping, and insurance risks worldwide. This aerial image shows the Bushehr nuclear power plant, situated along the Persian Gulf. Recently, a projectile struck the grounds immediately adjacent to the operating power unit. While no radiation was released, an impact here introduces the severe regional risk of a radiological incident, threatening critical water sources across the Gulf states. In the airspace above, the human toll of the conflict became apparent when a U.S. F-15E Strike Eagle was shot down over Iranian territory. Following the crash, U.S. forces successfully executed a rapid extraction operation, safely pulling both crew members out of the active combat zone. The safe return of the pilots is a tactical success, but the loss of the aircraft exposes a harsh truth. Against modern multi-layered air defense systems, human reaction times and standard combat aircraft capabilities are proving too slow to survive. To bypass this human bottleneck, the U.S. military is overhauling its command structure. The Pentagon recently elevated Palantir's artificial intelligence program, Project Maven, to an official program of record. This digital map interface illustrates the Maven smart system. Instead of relying on human analysts, the software pulls data from satellites, drones, and ground sensors, using AI to instantly detect and track targets. This fused intelligence feeds directly into CJADC2, enabling instantaneous superhuman decision-making. The Department of Defense is committing heavily to this architecture. Anticipating future demand, they increased the contract ceiling for the Maven smart system to nearly $1.3 billion through 2029. Integrating AI into warfare is causing friction within the civilian tech sector. In January 2026, the artificial intelligence company Anthropic publicly clashed with the Department of Defense over using its civilian AI models for military purposes. Despite these ethical debates, the U.S. strategy is locked in. The military is prioritizing software to process the battlefield, substituting algorithms for human processing power to achieve the hyper-fast reaction times required for modern combat. While the Middle East presents an active war, we have to look to the anticipatory theater of India's northern borders to see how nations are preparing for the next one. India shares a 3,488-kilometer line of actual control with China. Defending this border involves operating at altitudes up to 18,000 feet, where extreme terrain and harsh weather create severe physical challenges for air defense networks. Across that border, China is executing a military-civil fusion strategy designed to rapidly modernize its forces. This aggressive posture forced India to recognize that relying on imported hardware and foreign supply chains creates a critical, exploitable vulnerability. In response, India implemented a strategy of Atmanirbharta, or self-reliance. By embracing civil-military integration, the government is linking domestic private industries with its defense sector to build proprietary border infrastructure. This photograph shows the Akash surface-to-air missile system. It is part of India's indigenous air defense push, which also includes the Akash Tier command and control network designed to unify their ground-based interceptors and surveillance radars. Equipment bought off the shelf from foreign suppliers frequently fails in the Himalayas. To guarantee their functionality, India rigorously field tests these domestic systems in sub-zero temperatures and low oxygen environments. This text from an Indian air defense doctrine outlines their guiding philosophy. They are actively shaping their research and development ecosystem to ensure they build weapons uniquely suited to their own geography. On the 3,400-kilometer frontier, the strength of a nation's manufacturing ecosystem and its control over hardware supply chains now dictate the terms of deterrence. These two distinct theaters illustrate a singular shift in global defense. The United States is relying on AI software to process targets at machine speed, while India is localizing its hardware production to secure its physical borders. When a modern fighter jet can be downed by integrated defenses and billions are poured into autonomous targeting, the window for manual, human-speed warfare begins to close. The advantage shifts to the side that can process data faster than a pilot can blink. This excerpt from India's doctrinal recommendations provides a blunt assessment of this reality. stating that failing to adapt to these new technologies is an invitation to strategic peril. The powers that maintain peace will be those that integrate complex algorithms into their command centers while simultaneously securing total autonomy over their domestic defense industries. Silicon integrated deterrence has arrived. We call it Pax Silica. If you want to stay ahead of these global shifts, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.